Monica Everett was a very special witch. Unlike others, she didn't need to say incantations to use magic. She had once defeated a legendary dragon all by herself. Even though she was incredibly powerful, Monica was extremely shy and had trouble talking to people. The story begins with a massive battle. A group of mages was trying to defend their land from a sudden dragon attack. Huge dragons flew in from all directions, and the mages quickly created a magic wall to protect themselves. This battle happened in the kingdom of Riddell in the land owned by Count Kerbeck. His territory had been attacked by dragons for years, so the people were used to fighting them. In fact, Count Kerbeck's family had a long history of fighting dragons. The mages tried hard to hit one of the dragons with powerful magic, but their attacks didn't work. They decided their best chance was to aim at the dragon's eye. If they could blind it, the dragon would fall, and they could cut off its head. The commander told everyone to stay strong and keep their positions no matter what. Suddenly, the ground began to shake violently. It felt like a huge earthquake or maybe something worse. Everything went silent. People looked around, frightened and confused. They wondered if this was the end or if something even more terrible was coming. Then they saw the cause of the shaking. A gigantic black dragon. It was more than 500 meters long, dark as night, and much larger than any dragon they had ever seen. The smaller dragons flew around it like tiny flies. If the small dragons were already too strong for humans, there was no chance they could fight this one. This black dragon had appeared only twice in history. Each time entire cities were destroyed. Meanwhile, in the royal palace, Count Kerbeck's daughter Isabella had been warned by her assistant that danger was near and they needed to leave quickly. But Isabella refused to escape. She said her father and the knights were out there fighting for the kingdom and she couldn't abandon her people. Even if she had to fight, she was determined to stay. At the same time, a hooded mage is seen walking through the rough mountains of the kingdom. A few months later, far away from the battlefield, Monica is in her small, messy home. Her assistant arrived, bringing a basket full of vegetables, carrots, tomatoes, and more. The room was cluttered with books and trash. The assistant gave her news. 3 months ago, dragons had attacked the eastern border. Many winged dragons had been seen near a village, and the worst part was that the legendary black dragon had led them. It seemed like one of the 7 sages had summoned the dragon, and no one knew who had done it or who had stopped the attack. Monica quietly gave her assistant a large amount of money as thanks for bringing food. The assistant was shocked by how much money she gave and asked what Monica did for a living. Monica nervously replied that she was a math teacher. Then the assistant mentioned that someone had come to see her. Monica immediately panicked. She didn't like meeting strangers and didn't want anyone to find out who she really was. She turned around and saw a man standing at the door. She slammed it shut out of panic, but he pushed it open and walked right in, acting like he owned the place. Though he was a bit annoying, he used magic to clean up the whole room in just a few seconds. The man was Louise, one of the 7 sages of Riddell, just like Monica. He was one of the kingdom's most powerful magic users. He sat down and looked at her. Monica was known as the Silent Witch. She was beautiful but very shy. She couldn't speak in front of crowds and often fainted from nervousness. When she was a student at the magic school, the Minerva Institute, she struggled in class because she couldn't say her spells out loud. Then she came up with a clever idea. If she couldn't speak spells, she would learn to use magic silently. This was something almost no one could do, but Monica made it work. From there, her skills quickly improved. Back in the present, Louise sighed and said she was still wasting her amazing talent. He asked his maid to set up a magic barrier around the room so no one could hear them. Then Louise explained why he had come. The king had given him a special task, to secretly protect the second prince. Monica was surprised, especially because Louise was known to support the first prince. Louise admitted that was true, but he explained that the king had personally given him this mission, and he didn't think it was his place to question the king's decision. He told her that Prince Felix, the second prince, was currently studying at Serendia Academy, a boarding school. Louise said it would be suspicious if he got close to the prince himself because everyone knew who he was, so he wanted Monica to go instead. He showed her a magical brooch that he had designed. It had many functions: a communication spell, a shield, and a tracking device. He had given one to the prince and wore one himself. That way they would be linked and he could offer help if anything happened. Monica was shocked and asked if this was considered spying. Louise calmly explained that he wasn't spying. He was protecting someone under royal orders. It was normal to keep watch over someone when their life was in danger. Then he shared more about the brooch. It had originally been a gift from the king to the prince, but it broke just one day after being given. Another sage named Chris had spent a full week crafting it without any rest, yet it was destroyed almost immediately. Louise had worked hard to build a new one, even spending time away from his beloved wife. Monica asked if the prince was safe, and Louise confirmed that he was, though the situation worried him. After learning that the brooch had broken by accident, Louise had rushed to the academy himself. The staff told him that nothing strange had happened. He looked directly at Monica and told her she needed to understand what he was saying. But Monica nervously replied that she didn't understand any of it. So Luis said it clearly. He wanted her to take his place and secretly protect the prince at the academy. Monica's eyes widened in fear. She said she couldn't do it, but Luis explained that she was ideal for the mission. He told her that she was quiet, unknown, and powerful. No one would suspect her. He said she was wise and kind and that she would never do anything to harm the prince. Also, unlike him, she wasn't part of high society. She always kept her head down at formal events, and no one even knew what she looked like. That made her the perfect hidden guardian. He also reminded her of her rare talent, using magic without speaking. That power made her perfect for protecting someone in secret. Monica started crying. She really didn't want to do this, but Luis didn't let up. He reminded her that although she had joined the Seven Sages 2 years ago, she hadn't done much besides writing papers. Monica tried to defend herself by saying she had killed a dragon 3 months ago. Luis replied that he had killed 10 dragons in that same time. He told her to take his words seriously. She was one of the kingdom's greatest mages. There were things only she could do. Monica said she was just a reserve member of the sages, but Luis didn't care. The king had made him responsible for the prince's safety, and if Luis said she had to help, then she had no choice. Monica finally agreed, though unwillingly. Luis then shared his plan. A few years ago in Count Kerbeck's territory, there had been an orphan girl. The old countess had adopted her because she looked like her late husband. The girl had lived happily until the countess died. Then the count's daughter started treating her like a servant. When the daughter got accepted into Serendia Academy, she brought the orphan girl as her maid. Luis told Monica she would now pretend to be that maid and infiltrate the academy. Monica was shocked. She could hardly believe what she was being asked to do. That night, she sat quietly, trying to process everything. Her cat Nero tried to comfort her. Monica whispered that she couldn't protect the prince. Nero replied that she should refuse then. Monica said she couldn't say no. Luis would keep coming after her. Even his gloves couldn't hide the roughness of his knuckles, which scared her. Nero tried to lift her spirits by mentioning that the prince was probably handsome and that he liked books. Monica wondered if she had ever seen the king before, but admitted she always closed her eyes out of embarrassment at events. Nero sighed, questioning how she planned to protect someone she'd never even seen. The next day, Monica flew through the sky with Luis and his maid named Ren. They arrived at Luis's home, where his wife greeted them. She noticed that Monica looked pale and unwell. After resting, Monica felt a little better. However, suddenly, a girl laughed at her poor clothing. She mocked her name, saying she was part of the lowest class in the Kerbeck family. But then, she surprised them. She said she had been practicing how to speak like a mean girl, then proudly introduced herself as Isabella, daughter of Count Kerbeck. She thanked Monica for slaying the Black Dragon on behalf of her father and the villagers. Isabella remembered when the Black Dragon had attacked. They had been heading straight for the palace when a young boy rushed in to announce that a mage from the capital had defeated it. That mage had been Monica, the silent sorceress. She had defeated the dragon alone and vanished without a word. However, shortly after the Black Dragon was defeated, green dragons came to the city seeking revenge. One large dragon even landed on the palace roof. Just as it attacked, Monica cast a spell and defeated it with a single strike. Then she silently removed the dragon corpses with wind magic and disappeared once again. In the present, Isabella smiled. She said Monica had defeated not just the Black Dragon, but all the other dragons too, and all on her own. Now that Monica was going undercover at the academy, Isabella promised to act mean to her in public so no one would suspect the truth. All Monica had to do was focus on protecting the prince. That marks the end of today's Recap. If you enjoyed the video and want more of it, please support the channel by leaving a like and subscribe. Let's help us reach a current goal of 10K subscribers.